Broadcasting live from the tournament grounds on the plane of Eldraine. This is Tap Tap Concede. Hello, Graham here.
Cameron here.
And I'm Nelson.
And today we're going to talk about Throne of Eldraine and the recent update to Arena and anything else we think about. Booster packs. We're going to talk a lot about booster packs today, actually, because we had an extensive conversation before going online and realized that we had to read a bunch to understand what was going on. I think we have it now.
No, we're stumped. We have no idea whether we'll even be able to get booster packs next month.
Yeah, I want the fancy border. Please just tell me.
Tell me how to get it.
Please, sir, tell me how to get the shield breaker.
I have some more booster
this.
packs.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
If you want some more booster packs and live in the U.S., you can check out our sponsor, cardkingdom.com/LRR, because they'll ship sealed product anywhere in the U.S., but they'll also ship singles anywhere in the world, and they sponsor this podcast, and they're great. Cardkingdom.com.
Smooth like butter.
LRR. And you can tell them, loading ready run sent me button, please, and I'll give you a little 1-inch button, and I think they're just about to run out of In Response I Concede, so we'll see what happens there. I wish you best of luck.
Hopefully you can get Tap Tap on sleeve. I like that one.
I think we had that one at one point, didn't we?
Yep. Yeah. It's in the rotation.
Yeah. And as always, everything that we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And while the YouTube channel that you're now watching this on, if you're watching it, LRRMTG, now has a name and monetization, which it did not for the first little while, it does not currently have a active membership thing, but we'll let you know if that happens. Yeah, so before we get into that, let's quickly crack a pack. We have a lot to talk about, so let's not spend too long on the
No dilly-dallying on the pack crackering.
8. Yeah, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. It's Battle Bond.
Once upon a time, there was a pack of Battle Bond.
Let's go to Kylum. This was given to us from Trevor at PAX Aus 2018, who also gave us XCOM and some Harry Potter cards.
Ooh. Nice.
It says here.
Like a pack of XCOM and a pack of Harry Potter cards?
I think so. I think we got a pack of like the XCOM. I don't think it's in here.
Okay.
But we got
But there's an
pack of,
XCOM CCG.
I think so.
I for sure want to be on the AFK where we play that.
Yeah.
Hey, XCOM now with RNG, finally.
Fine.
Good.
Thank heavens. Yeah, why wasn't there any of that in there?
So our first card is a warrior token because this whole thing is backwards. So I guess I'll do it like this.
And upside down.
Dragon Hatchling. Everyone remembers Dragon Hatchling.
Yeah, it has fire breathing.
Doesn't have creature type egg. Throw it out.
It's 0/1 for 1 and a red with flying, and it has fire breathing. So single red mana to give it +1/+0 until end of turn. Capable of actually trading for some pretty big cards.
Vampire bats, but for 1 extra mana.
Yeah. Return to the Earth. Good. Take care of that, Dragon Hatchling.
Yeah.
3 and a green for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying.
We're telling a story here.
Yeah.
Get back in your egg.
Spellweaver duo. I don't know how they factor in.
They cast the Return to Earth.
Oh, okay. 6 and a blue for a 4/4 human wizard with assist. So another player can pay for the generic mana. So they can pay up to 6 of this spell's mana cost. When they enter the battlefield, you may return target tapped creature to its owner's hand. Good. The assist cards were generally pretty good.
Or maybe we flash this
think.
in somehow, and then we bounce the Dragon Egg in response.
Perfect.
Yep.
Riptide Crab. Wow, that is an ugly
This is a reprint
beast.
from Invasion, right?
It must be. The art looks it, yeah.
It's a pretty cool card, actually.
Yeah, 1 white blue for a 1/3 crab with vigilance, and when it dies, draw a card.
It's like everything you want in your blue-white control deck.
Yeah.
Except a reasonable mana cost.
Borderland Marauder is 1 and a red for a 1/2 human warrior. Whenever Borderland Marauder attacks, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Only one of the creatures we've seen so far has had more than 1 power. Combo Attack is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Target creatures your team controls each deal damage equal to their power to target creature. So, yeah, it's Bond Together,
Yeah.
which was an instant. Sadly, this is not. But it, so you can just be like, these 2 creatures of mine, or those 2 creatures of yours, or one of mine and one of yours, both team up on this guy. That seems good.
The most rabbit of bites.
Speaking of which, Tandem Tactics, which I'm sure is just in the set for flavor reasons, because this was printed in Battle for Zendikar. 1 and a white, instant, up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life.
This is new art for Tandem Tactics?
No.
Okay.
Because it's the core and the human from BFC.
He's probably an ally.
Screeching Buzzard.
Oh, yeah.
3 and a black for a flying bird. When Screeching Buzzard dies, each opponent controls a card. Discards a card. Why did I say control? When it dies, each opponent discards a card.
With great control and care, just like
Yep.
push through the pain.
Control the card.
That's right.
Control your card, sir. Silver Chase Fox. 1 and a white for a 2/2 Fox. 1 and a white and sacrifice it. Exile target enchantment. This has been reprinted a lot.
Bears.
It's what am I thinking of? Ronan Unicorn.
Yep. Cami of
Cami
Lantern
of something.
Cami? No.
Keening Apparition.
Cami of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does a job.
It's a pretty common little
Yeah.
thing that they give white creatures. Yep.
And I think our last common
Cloud
actually
Chaser Kestrel, I think.
is Sickle Dancer. 2 and a black for a 3/2 human warrior. Warriors were relevant. Whenever Sickle Dancer attacks, if your team controls another warrior, then Sickle Dancer gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Thanks for bringing me so viscerally to the plane of Kylum, Steve Argyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, we are in fact into the uncommons now with Relentless Hunter. 1 red-green for a 3/3 human warrior. And for 1 red-green, it gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn.
This is another Battle for card, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can activate that as many times as you want.
Odd bit of flavor text for Kylum, where everyone is like, all right, let's go to the arena and fight one another and have fun for sporting events. And this person is like, I swear vengeance upon the monsters. And everyone's like, well, okay, whoa, hold on.
Isn't that how every gladiator movie goes, though, right? It's like, I'm not here for their amusement. I'm just trying to get close to the king so I can murder him.
Yeah,
right?
and being like, whoa, buddy, nobody dies in the arenas here.
It's like, also, dude, you've killed like 30 people. How big was your family?
Yikes. Yeah.
Nimbus Champion. Wow.
This is
I
for
don't remember
Mom.
this card at all.
And this is for Dad. And this is for my hamster. And this is for my goldfish. It's like, you killed those things. Yeah. All right.
5 and a blue Nimbus Champion for a 4/4 Avatar Warrior with flying. And whenever Nimbus Champion attacks, you may return target creature to its owner's hand if that creature's power is less than or equal to the number of warriors your team controls. That seems like it could actually be very strong.
Yeah, well, because it can also bounce things that you control that have ETB effects.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember playing with this and liking it.
Yeah.
It was a bit pricey and required some buy-in, but, you know.
Were warriors in all colors or just...
Definitely red and white in this set, right? I thought
Well,
red and
well,
black.
and black.
Red and black.
Yeah, and this is a warrior. And
The one we just saw was red
Yeah.
and green.
Right? So
also,
all colors, I guess.
it's battle bond, so you're playing 4 colors.
Right.
Man,
Right.
Yes. Your
Like-
team is playing a lot of colors.
announcing like these matches must be awesome. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, and the challenger has brought out apparently a magical avatar with a sword that has grown from a cloud. So that's probably going to be bad for
So look out for
for the
that.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Decorated Champion is 1 and a green for a 2/2 Elf Warrior. There you go, in green too. And whenever another warrior enters the battlefield under your team's control, put a +1/+1 counter on Decorated Champion. Neat.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to be like, to your partner when they're about to cast something, you're like,
No. Let me do this first.
Yeah. And our rare, because we have a mountain and a warrior token, and our rare is Mangara of Corondor.
Nice.
Which is 1 white for a 1/1 human wizard, legendary creature, and tap to exile Mangara of Corondor and target permanent. So,
Just the,
This was
the hero's journey in one line of text.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm taking you with me. Cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It got some legacy play back in the day, in the very early days of Death and Taxes. Like, this was a white weenie option because there was just a lot of time you wanted to leave your Aether Vial on 3, and so this would, and you can also.
Is it a reprint?
Yeah, it's originally from Time Spiral, and then I think this is a second reprint. I think it was in a Master set also, but I think it's probably popular in EDH too.
I mean, probably just take
It's a cool effect.
Mangara.
removal.
That or like I don't know, Nimbus Champion maybe.
I guess like in a pinch.
Well,
Take two cards.
remember,
Yeah,
you
you're
take
taking
two.
two cards.
Right, yeah.
in a pinch in like a
I like that flyer more than Mangara. I think.
Highlander deck or something. I guess she's another O-ring or something too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, she doesn't always have haste, but maybe you have the boots or something, and
Yeah, she's obviously not as good as a
Yeah.
thing, but if you got to get rid of something, she's pretty good for that.
I mean, two of our uncommons are green warriors.
you can also play tricks with this with Caracas. I believe that works. It doesn't say exchange. Yeah, it just the ability just exiles two things. So you can just like tap your Mangara, target one of their things, then like hold priority, bounce your Mangara with Caracas, and then like you've got a Caracas in hand, or sorry, you've got a Mangara in hand, and then when the ability dissolves, it doesn't care. I don't think that Mangara is there. It just exiles the other thing.
Oh,
So that's
cool.
So that's kind of a fun trick in whatever format.
That's super cool.
Yeah, do we just take the two green warriors?
I like that, or the green
blue.
warrior and the blue warrior.
Yeah.
Just the decorated
with
champion
that.
and the Nimbus Champion.
I think the 4/4 flyer.
Go
I
in on
remember the
champions?
skies being not terribly open, but 4/4 flyers are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Serious
just both
business.
the big blue creatures. I've drafted this format 0 times. I would love to at some point, but I've gotten no chance.
Just go to a Magic Fest with Adam, and it'll happen at some point whether you want to.
yeah,
or
and then
not.
you'll have to
right.
fight like Gavin Verhey, who's soloing the pod.
All right. Well,
Gavin's too good at this.
I will
Yeah.
put in my request with Adam to go to a Magic Fest with him.
Sounds good. Okay, so speaking of cracking open booster packs, let's just quickly talk about the state of booster packs, only because this is something we were talking about casually just before we went live on the recording, and realized that there's a lot going on. And well, basically, we were looking at the spoilers and going, okay, but how do we get these awesome looking storybook alternate frame, alternate art cards from Throne of Eldraine? And so, referencing a article on the Wizards website from July, it's literally called Project Booster Fun. Mark Rosewater goes into what they're doing with booster packs, sort of, well, currently, because this some stuff was introduced in Guilds of Ravnica, but also going forward in Throne of Eldraine. So, when Throne of Eldraine comes out, there are going to be 3 different products that they sell that you can buy that are called booster packs. The first one is the Draft Booster, which is exactly what you would expect. That is everything that we crack on Crack-A-Packs. That is the normal thing that has existed since the beginning, with different numbers of cards in the packs and everything. But that's the normal booster pack.
Regular booster pack.
Yeah.
Now called Draft Booster.
Draft boosters, which contain a token or ad card, a land, 10 commons, 3 uncommons, and a rare or mythic.
Well,
That's it.
Okay.
Can they contain foils now, or does it say whether they don't? Because currently it's like that's the list you get, except one of the commons may be replaced by a foil of any rarity. That's the usual distribution of a booster pack.
So this is kind of a difficult sentence to parse.
Get ready.
In Throne of Eldraine specifically, there are no non-foil common showcase cards in booster packs.
Okay, so maybe you can get a
that-
foil.
That implies that foils will still. There's a chance that a foil will still
right.
appear in a
You
booster
can't get a
pack.
showcase card
Yeah.
unless it's foil. Maybe.
So I believe
Okay.
It's weird that they don't
maybe.
specify that they don't mention foils in that list, but
Yeah, so I am led to believe that the draft booster is a booster pack as it exists now. It's just what you.
Okay.
It's exactly the same.
currently now you get foils
Yeah.
and booster packs. So
The theme booster, which have existed already for I think Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance and War of the Spark.
I thought maybe it started with Allegiance, but definitely in the past year, these have been on the shelves here.
Yeah, so these have been around, and they contain 35 cards and a reference card, if you care about the reference card. So it's 35. It's 33 to 34 commons and or uncommons.
Right.
It doesn't specify the exact breakdown, and then 1.1 rare and or mythic. And what that means
Neat.
is that every theme booster has 1 rare or mythic, and 1 in 10 of them has another one.
Okay.
Got it.
So they were, I think it was someone at the store actually was telling me that like in a box, in a display box of 10, one of those will have a second rare or mythic.
Okay.
Great.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And they're called theme boosters because they're done by color. So in so they were done by guild in the Ravnica sets. In Throne of Eldraine, they're done by color. So there's going to be 5 options: a red one, a green one, a white one, a blue one, and a black one. And they're not set, like they're not seeded, but they're all going to be cards of that color. So if you're like, I just want blue cards, then you can just go get a blue theme booster and get all blue cards. One of them will be rare, and maybe 2 of them will be rare. Who knows? So
Maybe 7 of them will be uncommon. Who
yeah.
knows?
So those are already out and have been for most of a year.
You can get a Demir booster pack now, I think.
They don't say what the for the like foils or the fancy the showcase cards or anything would
Nope.
show up in the
Nope, I don't.
in the theme boosters.
I don't believe they do actually. And it says the number of commons and uncommons varies, but you'll always get more commons than uncommons.
This product to me feels more like the Deck Builder's Toolkit. Like it contains bulk. It's for the players
Yeah.
who don't have very many cards yet and are looking to expand their range of options for casual decks they can build, right? So
Yeah.
Okay.
probably I would be surprised if they were putting in the showcase cards on purpose. Sorry.
So then the collector booster is the interesting one. This is the one where we got to start talking about definitions of terminology that Wizards is using for different treatments of visuals on a card.
Yeah, chances are if you're listening to a Magic podcast, you're curious about this collector booster.
Yeah, and this is, now again, this article is from July, but we were like, wait, how do we actually get these cards? So the collector booster is 15 cards and a foil token.
Okay.
So every collector booster has a foil token. Among those 15 cards are 9 foil commons and uncommons.
Oh wow, it's like a Shards of Lara foil pack.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're just 9 foil commons and uncommons, a foil rare or mythic rare,
Okay.
then a rare or mythic rare with extended art.
That isn't foil.
Yes,
Probably.
It just
Okay.
says a
Okay.
rare mythic with extended art, and I assume that means that it's not foil.
Okay.
Now, extended art is, you will have seen this on a bunch of Throne of Eldraine spoilers, because a bunch of sites I saw were sharing, they got both versions of the art. That is when the art in the art box extends sideways to the edges of the card. Paul's got an example on screen from this was from the
Ultimate Masters. Box toppers.
Box topper.
The box toppers, yeah.
Okay.
So this is not full art, which extends below the into behind the text box, and this is not borderless, which extends right to the edge of the card on all sides. This is extended, which goes wide from the text box. It's like a widescreen card.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Letterbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get one of these that's rare or mythic.
Yes.
Okay.
You also get one ancillary card, which is a card from the set that isn't in draft boosters. So as far as Throne of Eldraine is concerned, this could be the Buy a Box card,
Okay.
or cards from the Planeswalker decks, or cards from the Brawl decks.
Okay.
So it says this slot is going to be the catch-all for mechanically unique cards associated with the set, allowing collectors to get them here without having to purchase other products or participate in other promotions. These cards will be non-foil.
Okay.
Okay.
And then 3 special frame cards, which is either and these are all non-foil. So the borderless planeswalkers, the actual like borderless ones, which I don't know if you have one of those handy, Paul, but this is, yeah, like here we go, the Karn, if you're watching again. This is the one that there's no black border at any part of the card. This one happens to be dark at the bottom, but that's,
That's the art being dark. Yeah. That's.
I mean,
it's not a border. It's the art.
They're probably designed to do that.
Yeah.
I think the very
yeah.
bottom will always be black.
Yeah,
because
so
of
the legibility.
for the machine readability thing.
Yeah,
Sure.
But there's no border. It goes right to the top, right to the sides.
You can see, above the name, name of
Yeah.
the card. It's borderless.
Or showcase cards. So for Throne of Eldraine, the showcase cards are the alternate art, alternate border adventure cards.
Okay.
So you get 3 of those in the collector booster. And he says, for Throne of Eldraine specifically, the non-foil common showcase cards will only be found in the collector boosters in one of these slots.
Okay, so once again, they mentioned these non-foil.
Commons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of the alternate border showcase cards, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-foil showcase cards. So this sounds like they're hinting that you can get a foil showcase card in a draft booster.
That's what it seems like.
They're not coming out right and saying it anywhere in the article, but maybe that's an option. So if they're telling us that nothing has changed in draft boosters, that means you still have like a 1 in 7 or 7.5 or 1 in 8 or something like that to get a foil, and maybe your foil can be like anything from the set in a regular border and anything that has a showcase frame in a foil.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. If I'm interpreting that correctly, it seems like it's a possible interpretation, and it may be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, those collector boosters, they sound like they're going to be expensive.
Yeah.
The year of
Yeah.
no MSRP. We're coming home to roost on why there's no MSRP, because there's no announcement about.
I was going to say they don't say
about
how much
what these cost.
I was going to say they don't say how much these cost, but
Yeah.
of course, okay.
It's just left to your friendly local gaming store
Now,
workers
he does
to tell
actually-
you what they're going to cost.
He does actually say, our expectation is that these collector boosters will range from $20 to $25 each.
Oh snap! I just didn't finish reading the article.
Yeah, but that will depend on your region and where you shop.
All right.
So this is I wonder if these are like the Wizards' gift to the LGS, in the same vein that like From the Vault. were
Yeah,
kind of
that
like
was the idea. You know, it's always so funny because like the owners go through struggle and stress with this one. Like the idea is like, you know, Wizards gives LGS owners at a fair price these packs or items that the players should like get really excited about and want to, you know, nom up and buy up as soon as possible, and then like invariably, you know, the LGS owner is like, well, what am I supposed to do? What's a fair price? These are like my loyal customers. I want to be good to them, so I want to like compete or whatever. And it's like this extra piece of work they have to do. But yeah, they should hopefully be able to keep the lights on if these things sell. They look pretty exciting. Like if you tell me it's worth 4 or 5 packs to open one of these, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
If you want to hear,
Hey, check this out. The
oh, Murderous Ride looks amazing.
dual color.
Oh,
The
very
board is
nice.
2 color. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're
That's
looking
really
at
cool.
Oakham Ranger, which is 4 Selesnya pips for a 2/2 Elf Knight that taps to give creatures you control +1/+1 until end of turn. But the Adventure is also 4 Selesnya pips for Bring Back, which makes 2 1/1 humans. So you make your human tokens, then you make your Ranger, and it just seems good.
Yeah.
If you want a little bit more of the philosophy on the theme boosters, he says the collector booster came about because we realized that the draft booster was serving a segment of the audience poorly, which is people who want the fun of opening a booster pack but don't want like 14, maybe 15 cards they don't care about.
Right.
Yeah.
Is basic. I'm paraphrasing that.
Sure.
But that's essentially it. And they're like, all right, so let's just make fancy boosters. They are, heads up, they're a limited print run.
The theme or the collector ones?
The collector boosters are
Wow.
a limited print run.
Okay, that's exciting.
Only being printed in English and Japanese. And at the beginning, apparently the beginning of Throne of Eldraine, the Buy a Box promotion also includes 1 collector booster.
Whoa,
Okay.
cool.
But they say that so he says the Buy a Box promotion is going to be the mechanically unique promo card and a collector booster, but supplies are limited and stores will have fewer collector boosters than Buy a Box cards specifically earmarked for this promotion. So only the very first boxes bought will have the booster, even though your LGS may have collector boosters to sell.
Why? Like this is such a weird feel bad, and I mean, I maybe get it because they
I
have
guess,
like,
but it is gonna make-
it's like it comes down to shipping costs or whatever, right?
But it
it's
is
just
going to
like,
make you the bad guy when
why don't you
someone's
just
like,
give us less of the Buy a Box promos too, or something. You know what I mean? Like that, it feels shitty having to ask that, like having to say that and be like, oh, just give us less of something, so no feel bad. But
yeah, like I want to buy a box. Okay, here's your box and your card. What about the collector boosters? No, we don't have any more of those.
sorry, you're
What
number
about-
37.
What
Yeah.
about those collector boosters
Yeah.
on the shelf? No, those are the different collector boosters.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly what that's all.
Yeah.
Everything I said is true. It just it sounds
And then the
Yeah,
bad.
and then poor number 38, has to give me the puppy dog eyes and be like, "Oh, my friend got a collector's booster and he opened a Texas Carrick and he's gonna have a lot of fun with it, and I don't get a collector's booster. I'm gonna burn the place down."
Yeah.
Wow, that seems like an extreme reaction.
Yeah, sorry. I just like the voice. I was like, "Oh, I'm the guy from The Office. That's who I am."
Yeah,
I'm,
or Office Space. Yeah.
I'm Office Space. Yeah, sorry. I
Right.
can't remember this actor's name. He's also in News Radio. He's great, but he plays the insane coworker at the Office Space. And
Yeah, the guy who got fired and nobody told him he was fired.
Exactly.
And just kept asking where his paycheck was, and they're like, "Yeah,
stealing
well-"
staplers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swing line stapler. They took away a swing line
And
stapler.
every time you go to your LGS, just remember that the person behind the counter has to sell that person a box, and then they have to be disappointed about it. So be nice to them.
Yeah. So that's boosters. Draft boosters, the same. They're just boosters. Theme boosters, 35 cards of a color. Maybe you get 2 rares. Collector boosters, expensive, lots of fancy stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Let's talk about what kind of fancy stuff we can open in these boosters with Eldraine coming up. Want to do that?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we give a couple minutes at the end to talk about the arena update.
Okay.
But yeah, I do want to actually, because last episode we talked so much about arena,
Right.
that then we were like, oh, and there's some spoilers. Goodbye.
That's right.
So I do actually want to talk about some spoilers because Throne of Eldraine looks amazing. Mm-hmm. So okay, I want to talk about something real quick. So can you bring up Paul Kenrith, the Returned King?
Oh yeah, here we go.
So
Graham had this spoiled, and he was so excited about it.
yeah,
someone
is
tweeted
really
you
neat.
about it, right?
Yeah. So okay, so irrespective of what I'm going to talk about, Kenrith is also very cool. 5/5 for 5, 4 and a white, legendary human noble. Just that's a good rate. 5/5 for 5, sure.
If you're wondering how to sit on a chair, it's like that.
Yeah.
Once you've finished life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just,
when you're
when you're on a throne, you can man spread. I
So
guess
this
you're
is-
not
Oh.
taking anyone's space.
So
right.
this is the buy a box card.
oh cool,
Oh,
okay.
it
It
is.
says in
Realize.
tiny letters, buy a box. I did not realize that. Anyway, so he's got 5 activated abilities, 1 for each color. For a single red, all creatures gain trample and haste until end of turn. Keep in mind, if your opponent has a creature with a tap ability, you are giving all... It's a very corner case, but this seems like a commander card, so heads up. 1 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 2 and a white, target player gains 5 life. 3 and a blue, target player draws a card. And 4 and a black, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under its owner's control.
Poof.
So he's
Kenrith
very,
likes to make friends.
He's very friendly.
Yeah.
Kenrith is going to be a group hug commander.
He
and it's gonna be
united the
great.
kingdom.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But he also looks an awful lot like he's dressed like Graham Chapman's King Arthur from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which I mentioned because the Oathsworn Knight is the Black Knight from the Holy Grail. He just is. That's what the card is. It's 1 black for a 0/0 human knight. Enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters, 1 for each limb. Has to attack each combat if able, and if any damage is dealt to Oathsworn Knight while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, you prevent that damage and remove a +1/+1 counter.
Just like you would his arm or leg.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Come back here, I'll bite your face off.
Bite me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like also a 4/4 for 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a
Bad.
cool card too.
Yeah,
This is
it's
a cool
yeah,
spoiler.
It's just a good card, but
Yeah.
It has to attack, which is a big deal. But if you're in a deck that wants to attack every turn anyway, maybe include this one.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it making some waves in standard, maybe.
I love it. I didn't think.
hope so.
I didn't think the Black Knight from Holy Grail was going to be a top-down design in the set.
Yeah, where they're just like, well, we clearly have to get the Black Knight in. You figure it out.
It's such a clean design too.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
great.
oh, that's perfect. It's really good. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then while we're talking about cool things to see on cards, the invitational card is back, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool to see that. And that was there any announcement about that?
Nope.
I just saw
No.
a tweet.
Yeah, Aaron
And then-
Forsyth was like, "Hey, look, we're doing this again."
Yeah, and it was so surprising to me because there's been multiple articles I think about why they don't do that anymore. Right? They've released
What's the
Meddling
actual card
Mage,
called, by the
Shadow
way?
Mage, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Solemn Simulacrum twice without any of the Pro Tour players' faces who won those invitationals.
With Snapcaster.
Snapcaster Mage has the new one.
Who is this, by the way?
New
This
ones.
is
Two new ones.
Javier
Yeah.
Dominguez?
Yeah, it's Javier Dominguez on a 1 red mana. I can't remember the name of the card, but it's a 1 red mana 1/1 with First Strike and Haste. It's a rare.
It looks like he's
it's
holding a
knight,
lightsaber.
Fervent, not Cathar.
Fervent champion.
Fervent
There you
champion.
go.
There you go. He's the champion. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't know if Javier was instrumental in helping design this card. That was the thing with the old invitational tournament.
Apparently, he got some option. This
Okay.
was less involved than the invitational cards
All
from
right.
the perspective of the player getting input.
Right.
But he got some choice in how it was presented. And so yeah, it's a 1/1 for single red. Human Knight, First Strike, Haste. Whenever a Fervent Champion attacks, another target attacking knight you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And equip abilities you activate the target Fervent Champion cost 3 less to activate.
So that's only 5 for the big hammer.
Yeah. This set has a real Knights theme centered in Mardu.
Yeah.
We said at the beginning of the show, broadcasting live from the tournament grounds, which is it's an unusual land. It's taps for colorless, but it also taps for Mardu, except you can only use that red, white, or black mana to cast a knight or equipment spell. Because of course there's colored artifacts in the.
Yeah, let's talk about one of those. We've seen spoiled a really expensive equipment, but with its own cost reduction ability. It's Ember Cleave, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So this is 4 generic and 2 red for a legendary equipment that gives +1/+1 and double strike and maybe trample.
It does a lot.
Yeah, when it enters the battlefield, you can attach it to a creature you control for free, and then it also has flash and costs 1 less for each attacking creature you control. So this on turn 2 equips to Javier for free because it oh sorry, no it doesn't, sorry, it would equip for free, but the cost reduction isn't cheaper from the Fervent Champion's ability. Okay, my bad. All right, you do need to bring some friends, but once it's on the battlefield, you can equip it to the champion for free. So I guess the champion would make a really good reload. I guess if you're playing an aggro red deck, you want him on turn 1 to attack, and then any 2 more 1-drops, and on turn 3 you can drop this thing just about for free, and then after you get Wrath, you can have this thing on the battlefield and then play a Fervent Champion and immediately equip it to make a 2/2 double strike. And it is trample, so that's pretty sweet.
That's a lot.
So this is one of the exciting equipments that tournament grounds is going to want to help you cast.
Now, here's a
There
question.
might be some more.
Here's a question from a flavor perspective, because I think when the whole set's out, we're going to have to do the storybook origins of all these cards,
Yeah, I'll
like
have
we
to,
did with Theros.
I'm going to have to find my copy of La Malt d'Arthur.
Yeah,
Sure.
But this is not Excalibur. This is
No.
This looks too angry and mean
Yeah.
for Excalibur. But you think we're going to see a legendary equipment that's basically Excalibur?
I think we have to.
I think we kinda
right in
have
the
to.
English folklore set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already the Lady of the Lake has been spoiled, except she's the something of the lock.
Yeah.
But the woman in the water with the sword.
Is that it's Emery, Lady of the Lake or something, or is that the one we're
Yeah.
talking about? So this is also one of the more powerful cards we've seen in the set. It's 2
Yeah,
generic and a
this-
blue, but again has a cost reduction
yeah,
mechanic.
She costs 1 less for each, 1 generic mana less for each artifact you control. So you can go wait, Dominaria is rotating out, right?
Yes.
I think it's a modern card. Maybe we'll see it play in some cool standard decks, but I think its application makes more sense in modern, where you have Mishra's Bauble and Mox Ruby already. Mox Opal already has.
Yeah, because the
regular
thing
players.
with
Thank you, Lurker
can-
of the Lock.
yes.
So she looks like she's holding a different sword than Ember.
Yeah,
Cleave.
she sure is.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see what that sword is. But yeah, so Emery, Lurker of the Lock, legendary Merfolk Wizard for 2 and a blue, is pardon me, is a 1/2. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. When Emery, Lurker of the Lock enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then tap, choose target artifact in your graveyard, and you can cast that card this turn.
Yeah, so
This is pretty nuts.
Mishra's Bauble.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
something's going to happen when I enter my end step, and that's going to be I draw all my cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this is an exciting one. Watch out for combo decks revolving around this, or just or just value, artifact shenanigans. Friends with Urza.
Yep.
I like also because we were talking about the storybook frame, the showcase frames, which are storybooks basically in this set, and how they're not just a different frame, they're different art in each of them as well, and the art is a lot more sort of stylized because it's they can do that. It's sort of like a storybook. But one of the ones I really like is it's Merchant of the something. It's not even that exciting of a card. It's interesting. I think it's going to do. Cool stuff as part of a deck. But the art for it just really blends really nicely in with the storybook frame because it's all like wispy trees and whatever. Let me see if I can. Merchant of the Veil. That's what it's called. Yeah, I don't know if I know Paul's looking for it right now. I'll tell you what the card does. It's a 2/3 for 2 and a red, human peasant, and the creature's ability is for 2 and a red, rummage, discard a card to draw a card. And then the adventure is Haggle, which is a single red instant that you may discard a card, and if you do, draw a card. So that's Merchant of the Veil. There you go. There's the normal. Scryfall doesn't have the one yet. It's on the Magic subreddit. 1 second. I wonder if I can send this to you some useful way. Anyway, I think. What do you make of the Haggle? So like you're spending half of this card and discarding a card and drawing a card, but it's instant.
Yep.
And then you get to what I like that his rummage ability doesn't tap him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. You can use him multiple times. I think. Yeah, the power level of this cantrip, it's not even you're down a card, right? Like this is pretty fair. I don't think we're gonna see this breaking too many combo decks wide open just based on the strength of Haggle.
Like you're down a card, but you get to then get that card back when you cast the Merchant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but then
like
what are you casting? A 3-mana 2/3 with the ability to rummage more.
I mean,
so
that's,
I feel
that's perfectly fine in limited.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I think this is a very solid limited.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone's looking. I don't think anyone's like unsleeving their Faithless Lootings and putting this.
Well, they are unsleeving Faithless Lootings.
Yes, they did do that though. Yeah,
yeah. Then that was probably right.
Yeah, but I just love how the trees and the curly branches just like
blend into it.
Yeah, it's a whole. It's a full experience.
Mm-hmm. This is beautiful. A large part of it is the chosen color palette.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that his card for sale, his clothing, the trees, and the wispy, curly cues on the special border are all within the same range of
reds.
Yeah, I wonder if this if the art direction focused a lot on like. We want to evoke the look of early printed illustrated books,
right? Yeah, with illuminations, right?
Well, not even not even illumination.
So did you see Curious Pair? So that's the regular one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, it's the very Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I love the hands at the bottom.
That's 4 hands.
Yeah. Why are there so many hands?
It's too many hands. Yeah, you're right. That does look like something out of a storybook.
Right.
That's the idea, I guess, right?
Where it wasn't illuminations, because illuminations were done by hand, but early printing with like very limited color palettes.
Mm-hmm.
This is so gorgeous. I want this so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
I like it's a low impact card, but I think this will be okay. You just make food. Just like like in limited, you just like, all right, turn 1, make food. Turn 2, probably do something more interesting, but worst case, I get this 1/3, I suppose.
It's possible you'll board into Curious Pair if the mono red deck is good enough. It doesn't look like it's going to be quite good, but like this is at least a curve of gaining life and making a blocker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if
this card doesn't look to be pushed at all.
Yeah, I have to assume that the artists were given given knowledge of what the frame would look like.
Yeah.
Right.
So
several of them obviously would have been.
Yeah, like look at the crawling vines here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, we're now looking at Lovestruck Beast, which is 2 and a green for a 5/5 Beast Noble. Is Noble a new subtype?
Yes, Noble is a new creature type for this set.
I did like the
Warlock is the other new one.
Warlock is new. Well, and food. So there's a creature with the food creature type.
There is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Gingerbrute next. But
Sure.
Lovestruck Beast, 5/5 for 3. Can't attack unless you control a 1/1, But then Heart's Desire, which is the sorcery adventure, is make a 1/1 token.
So we're not sure if we'll
That's
get
very strong.
Yeah, no,
actually.
this is a standard playable.
It's a rare, yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure if we're going to get a new Galta, but we have gotten a new Steel Leaf champion. So
Yeah.
Also, there's the new 3-headed beast thing.
right, yeah.
My favorite comment about that was like, yes, my favorite bedtime story: a green creature with a pile of keywords.
Now let's look at this one. So this is like, for my money, I think this is the most exciting card of the set so far.
So
this looks like the one that will have the most impact in the most formats.
Questing Beast. 2 green for a 4/4 legendary beast. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less.
That's like flying.
Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls.
Now it doesn't have trample, so
Dies to removal, garbage.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and well, it has haste instead of an ETB.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, with haste, this is a lot like an ETB.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Surprise!
You can. I mean, if you do have the Path to Exile right away, you can use it. It's got no form of hexproof or anything. But yeah, it's so many words, and just the base rate being a 4/4 haste for 4, and then like all these things that help it be a 4/4 haste. I'm just very excited to lose to this card a lot.
I mean, I guess, or maybe in a lot of situations, this is just going to be like, spend 4 mana, hit you for 4, and you're like, cool, next turn I kill it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean...
But if you're the deck that's like using sorcery removal and like trying to get all the value out of your things, often you have a planeswalker, right? Like, because if you're the deck that's like, I'm going to kill it, usually you're the deck that's like, and I'll draw a card, and then Teferi will draw me a card too. It's like, So this card against those decks, it's like, well, I get to hit you and kill your planeswalker. Whereas oftentimes, like especially with the way they've been building planeswalkers lately, you're in a tough spot as the aggro deck, because you usually start off getting your opponent to 12 or something in the first few turns, and then they play a planeswalker, and you're like, okay, I can spend my resources to kill that planeswalker. But they drew a card on their turn off their planeswalker. They killed one of my guys with their planeswalker, so then they're going to gain life from me attacking the planeswalker, and they're just going to cast another planeswalker next turn. So it's like, if you get into this routine where you're just spending your time and attack steps, killing planeswalkers, then your opponent's life total becomes safe all of a sudden, and then they draw you into control. Then suddenly you're in the end game. The control player is winning.
Yeah, I suppose this does what aggro and mid-range decks need in standard right now, which is make Teferi bleed internally.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Yeah, does all the things.
Let's take a look at Ginger Brute.
Okay,
Because I was
Food
not expecting
creature.
to see the food subtype on a creature.
Yes, sorry for the...
No, that's good.
digression.
Yeah,
No,
we can talk
thank
about
you.
Questing Beast. Yeah.
So Ginger Brute is a 1/1 for 1 mana artifact creature, food golem. Has haste. For 1 mana, Ginger Brute can't be blocked this turn except by creatures that also have haste, because they need to be fast enough. And for 2 and tap and sacrifice it, you gain 3 life, because it is still food.
Because it's a food. Yeah. And I guess you can also sacrifice it to your Golden Goose or your Reckless Hunter or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything that you need to sacrifice a food.
Yeah.
Which I guess is
Pay
why
food costs.
it's worded like that. That it's not sacrifice a food token.
Oh, yeah,
Right? Sacrifice a food.
Also, when the set, so we haven't gotten the FAQ yet, we haven't been given all the rules documents, but I answered someone's question earlier.
About like, what's food?
Well, someone on like a Facebook forum, it's just like, so is Mutavault food? Can I sacrifice Mutavault to like draw a card or make a mana
my
or whatever?
changelings.
And immediately I'm just like, well, no, because it's or another judge chimed in with like, no, it's not a creature type. It's just a subtype of other things, of these artifacts, right? And then Ginger Brute gets printed. I'm like, oh, okay, it is a creature type too.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess it is. Mutavault is now food.
So yeah, I mean,
Nom, 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 nom.
if you
We
have
can eat anything.
yeah, if you just need 1 more mana while you have Gilded Goose out, you can eat your Chameleon Colossus instead of.
Yeah, actually, the interesting side effect is that because chameleons have all creature types that have been printed,
Yeah.
the moment Ginger Brute was printed, suddenly all chameleons became edible.
yeah.
All the changelings are
All the
also
ki-
snacks.
All
Yeah.
the changelings became. They're like, hey, wait, what happened?
Yeah, it's like, oh, we don't know that guy. We've never seen him before.
But relax, Chameleon Colossus. You're also now King Chameleon Colossus because of this set.
Yeah, you're a noble and a warlock.
I also
The
did
Duke
like
of
somebody commenting that like I hate to be that guy, but a king is not a noble.
Oh, it was Riley Knight. Yeah, Riley Knight
it's like,
tweeted about this.
If you confuse that,
He's like, I hate to be the actually guy.
Yeah.
And then someone tweets like, well, no, I don't. But
no, clearly, yeah.
But yeah, royalty and nobility are different, right? They're a
Yeah.
separate class as distinct as nobility and peasants, probably. Right?
Yeah,
Right.
You know?
I mean, Riley's from England, so he would he would understand that.
Yeah, we
But,
don't.
yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
personally.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gilded Goose, by the way, which is the card that Paul's put up on screen here, is also great. It's a single green mana for an 0/2 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you create a food, and you can pay 1 and a green and tap to make another one, and then you can sacrifice a food to add 1 mana of any color. So it's like a really slow Birds of Paradise that's very, very expensive to use, but it's super cool. And there's a Golden Egg, which is also a food. It's not a token, it's a food card, 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, so already good. And 1 and tap and sack it to add 1 mana of any color, and 2 and tap and sack it, and you gain 3 life, just like an actual food token.
Yeah, I like
Eggs is back on the menu.
No, it has
That's
both
right.
the abilities of a food token and a treasure token.
Yeah.
And it's an egg.
because it's the golden egg. Yeah,
Because it has the ability of eggs where when they ETB, you draw a card. So
Yeah.
both these cards I think are exciting adds for Canadian Highlander. This one, I'm sure, anyone who knows Wheeler's history with the eggs deck is very happy to see. Usually it's like they're not really eggs. They're like these other mana rocks like Kaleidostone.
Or Mind Stone.
Well, no, more the ones that like when they enter the battlefield, you draw a card. Like you draw a
Right,
card
okay.
off them when they ETB or when you sacrifice them. But this one's actually an egg, so like that's awesome. And then the Gilded Goose, I think. So you mentioned it's slow, but it's just as fast as every other 1 mana. Mana Dork on turn 2, right? Like you cast it on turn 1, and then on turn 2 you can cast a 3-drop or 3/1
that's
drops
true.
or a 2 and a 1, whatever.
where it's got it where it counts.
Yeah, and I think for that reason it'll become. I think there's a good chance it'll become a staple in
then
Highlander
just a
decks
late
that are
game mana
already
sink.
playing all the Mana Dorks. Yeah, exactly. Then it's just as good or better than
Then late game, you're just like, hatch me eggs.
Like it's better than Birds of Paradise on turn 7, right? Where you're just like, okay, well now I can get something out of my flyer. Anything that you could do with your Birds of Paradise, like put a sword on it, the goose can also do. And it even when it ETBs, it gives you 3 life.
the Gilded Goose with Ember Cleave.
Yeah, there you go.
We're coming through.
Get in.
Gilded Goose picks up Jite
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
So I think this card for standard and for GT is kind of awkward. You need a noble,
Well, yeah,
noble
you need-
hierarch
yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
but you want to put it
No,
on the
it's a
goose that's
3-card
flying.
combo, Nelson.
Yeah, exactly. So for standard, I think this will probably be pretty common as just like the only option we have at 1 mana to increase our mana, and there'll be
Right,
some
because
decks looking
Landmore
to do
Elves
that.
is rotating.
Landmore Elves is gone in Dominaria, but we've got a new Steel Leaf Champion, so you can turn 1 Goose, turn 2 play your Lovestruck Beast, I guess. That doesn't seem great. Then later play an adventure from your second Lovestruck Beast in hand so that it can attack. It's awkward, folks. But they'll probably, you could just play this and then turn 2 play the Gruul Spellbreaker or whatever if you want to be in that deck.
that's also good.
That seems strong.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
The Goose is good at that. And then in that deck, you definitely would prefer Llanowar Elves to just keep ramping, but maybe you'll play something else that ETBs and gives you a food token, and then you can keep doing it that way.
Yeah, children, let me tell you the story of the Gruul Spellbreaker.
Yeah.
Just like punches through the wall.
Exactly, or through the book. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like this card a lot.
Sweet. Let's now. We'll talk more about Throne of Eldraine spoilers.
We got
next
another week
I'm
to
sure.
dive into more
But,
Thrones spoilers. There's more came out this week than we could get to on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's
In
fine.
fact, don't forget that.
Oh yeah.
Next Friday, or rather, by the time you're seeing it, this Friday is the Throne of Eldraine pre-release on twitch.tv/loading.
Okay, we lied. We don't have another normal TTC where we talk about spoilers, but there'll be a fun extra people TTC that you can watch next
it'll
week.
be like an extended TTC where we talk about spoilers by playing with them.
all
There's
day
that.
long.
With several guests.
for
All day this
for
Friday.
8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guests, by the way,
8 hours. Fingers crossed.
are Vince, aka Pleasant Kenobi, who's a content creator and works with CFB.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of him because I'm pretty sure he came up with the pre-release, right? Like he's the inventor of the pre-release, and he got the pre-release unbanned.
Does he just is it like an ongoing joke that he takes credit for everything?
I thought just in this podcast.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, we were just like, not only did he
I think that was
unban
before we went
Stoneforge
live.
Mystic.
I think that joke was because he was talking about how he's like, good, I unbanned Stoneforge Mystic, and then we made some sort of other joke about something else that he did, but that was before we were recording.
It was
Heather,
that
if you could just take that burn that I unnecessarily slapped onto Pleasant Kenobi out, that'd be great.
For the segue,
Yeah.
it was that Vince is now also responsible for getting historic cards.
Right.
Oh, right. Perfect segue. Thank
That's
you.
what it was. Okay, so, but briefly, I should mention that Jamie Topples, who's a Magic streamer, Olivia Gobert Hicks, who's a cosplayer and streamer, and Daniel Holt, who's a graphic designer from Wizards of the Coast, will also be here along with the usual these people, and Nelson and Serge are judging, and it's going to be a real fun day. So you are judging, right?
I'm judging, and we got Adam and Kathleen also, as well as you two, right?
Yes. So it's going to
Very
be
normal PPR.
It's gonna be a good.
All right.
It's gonna be a good time. I can't wait for that.
Tune in to watch me get just utterly demolished.
I did that for you last time.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I
I'll
was
get
at a wedding
demolished,
last
too.
time, so.
Right.
Okay, so arena updates. Yeah.
Yeah. So, unsurprisingly, Wizards did indeed take the feedback on board, and once Historic comes out, cards that are only available in Historic will no longer be 2-to-1 wild cards to get them. They will now just be the same 1-to-1 wild cards as before. Hooray! We did it.
We did it.
Good.
We did it, Reddit.
They're certainly claiming credit. Let's
Graham
say.
is so happy that we all get to shut up about that.
I think it was a bad decision, and I'm glad that they've changed it.
It's a correct change.
Yes, I don't like the discourse surrounding it, because I mentioned that tweet from John Laux last time.
Okay.
Right, and I was like, there's an important nuance to that tweet.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm already seeing people in both Magic Arena and Magic TCG subreddits being like, this is something that this was company policy on MitGo. Former employees have confirmed this, and it's like, hold on, this was one tweet from John Laux, and he said something that is not what you are saying. Anyway, that's great. There were some other changes that they mentioned as well. The best of 3 historic events, which will be available all the time. No.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
The one that's available all the time will not award wins for your daily and weekly win progress, right?
Yes.
But it still will allow you to finish your quests.
Okay.
So if you're mostly jamming on Historic when that comes out, or anytime in the future, you'll get your gold for casting 30 black creatures or whatever, but you won't get your wins per day pack or wins per day progress on your
Yes.
get a fire cap
Ranked
thing,
historic
right?
best of 3 will be available in December. Ranked will award progress for quests, daily and weekly win rewards, and mastery XP.
Okay.
There's going to be a best of 1 historic queue that comes in on September 26th that's available all the time, and it doesn't count towards daily or weekly wins, but it will count towards the rewards.
So that's kind of like a second ladder, right? Best of 1 queue, or maybe I'm not sure if it's an event where you play till you have 3 losses, or it's a ladder, but for the one that's available all the time, you just won't be able to complete all of your progress bars for playing enough arena every day.
Yeah.
So that's a way they've managed, instead of making the cards harder to get, they've still managed to put standard first. Make standard the foremost format. Right?
Yeah. And they've also said
Which is great.
they're going to be reevaluating those 15 extra cards, and how they said they're still going to do that, but it's not necessarily going to be there's 15 cards on this date in November. They're trying to figure out the best way to add them, and so there's because there's a graphic that changed that happening to TBD, and but the text associated with it says, we will start to add new cards to Historic in November. We'll be thinking through what the right target of cards to add is and how players can acquire these cards. These cards will be added to the game differently than cards in Standard. We are still working on how. So it might not be 15, and we don't know when in November, but there will be new cards added to Historic in November. The other change they made is that you'll just be able to buy packs from any set, including packs of sets that are now only in Historic. They'd said that they were when Historic after rotation that you'd only be able to buy those in the 45 pack bundle, and that was, we didn't really touch on that much last time, but that was also, I think, a bad decision. So they've reversed that as well.
Seems like a feel bad.
Yeah. But I think actually the most important, well, so the best news out of this article is that they've walked back the 2-for-1 wildcards. But I think the most relevant part of this article is the explicit statement that philosophically from the Arena team is just them saying, we knew this, but them saying Standard is the focus of Arena, Standard and Limited. And they consider Historic as a fun other way to play on Arena, like Pauper and Singleton. They consider it another extra fun thing.
Right.
Not, they don't consider it Arena's modern.
Right.
Which is, I think, what a lot of people thought that it was. And so when there was this, when there's this like, they're setting it up to fail, it's like, no, they just don't think it's as important as Standard.
Yeah, and I think they don't want it to distract from Modern.
Yeah,
as
sure.
another like premier format at all.
Yeah,
maybe
like paper Modern.
They're like, look, you have the cards in sets that are going to rotate from Standard, and we want you to still be able to use those cards for something. So here's Historic, but you know, it's meant to be a fun extra thing, not a marquee feature of the program.
And
So
go ahead.
like, so there probably aren't going to be like big Historic Arena tournaments at Magic Fest and stuff.
Almost assuredly not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether there'll be a paper scene for this at all. It's, you know, Magic players do all kinds of things. So
Who knows?
they'll
Maybe
do
it
that.
takes off and it's actually super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it succeed and be good.
Yeah.
I
I think that would be good.
I think the plans they've laid out, what they've stated they're going to do with it, they're going to achieve their goal of making an extra fun thing you can do on Arena with your cards. I think we're not going to see it being one of the queues that you can get into Mythic with, right? Like,
Right.
probably we won't see you can grind to the top level of
I got in
ranked players.
I got into Mythic Constructed just by playing Historic.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that, and I don't think we're going to see.
I mean, I guess it's possible if you
I'm
just
not sure if
play-
it's on the same ladder, right? You know.
Oh no, it is.
Okay, it is for sure.
It counts towards, like, Historic will count towards your constructed rank.
Okay.
So if you only play Historic and you win all the time, then you will rank up
Okay.
on your constructed ladder.
So maybe you can also, if they keep doing the invites to the Mythic Invitationals, where you have to be in the top 1,000 to get an invite to a big weekend tournament on Arena, and you can get into the top 1,000 playing Historic, then I guess it's still going to be a competitive format for some people.
I guess, but you're
Right.
going to go to the tournament and,
And
it's
then
going to
play
be
standard. You're going to have to
Yeah.
play standard
So-
to actually win to get to the
Yeah.
the PTQ, right? To get into the Mythic Invitational. So fair enough. I don't know. That's
Have you been playing any of the current standard sort of catch-up event?
no.
on Arena?
I haven't had time to get to
I
Arena this
haven't,
week at
no.
all. Yeah.
So it's for those who haven't seen it at home. It's a special event you can access from the home screen or the play menu. It's called 2020 Standard or Standard 2020. I
Right,
think.
I saw some tweets of deck lists. So it's like no Ixalan block cards, right?
Yeah, it's everything on Arena that will be in Standard once rotation happens, including the Eldraine cards that were released as part of the Brawl event.
Oh, neat. Okay,
So
so
those
you can craft
cards-
those now, hey?
Well, you could win them in the event.
Oh, just the ones you can win. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like 4 cards.
So if you
Okay.
didn't win them in the event, you
Sure.
can't use them. Or maybe you can craft them. I don't actually know. But so the way that it's structured is it's 2 wins or 1 loss. Free to enter. You can play it as many times as you want. You pick a deck. You have to play that deck in both games. If you win both games, you get 200 experience, and then you can go again. And if you lose a game, you get nothing. But it's quick, especially if you're doing what I'm doing, which is playing the mono red Cavalcade of Calamities deck. It's very quick.
Very quick.
Right.
You either know that you've lost this one or it's over and you won. Yeah.
It's a lot of 1-drops, mostly with haste. Cavalcade of Calamities, which is the enchantment. It's 1 and a red. Whenever a creature you control with 1 or less power attacks, it deals 1 damage directly to the opponent. So it's that. the War Boss with Mentor, the 2/2 with Mentor that makes
Cranko?
that makes
Legion War Boss, yeah.
Legion War Boss that makes a Goblin that has to attack. And then the really disgusting thing is Chandra Spitfire,
Oh, nice.
which is a 1/3
Tax
flyer.
for 50, yeah.
It does, yeah. So it's a 1/3 flyer, and whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So if you have one Spitfire, if you have one Spitfire and like 4 just random 1/1s, you don't even care if those 1/1s die. You attack with everything.
Right.
The Spitfire and the 4 1/1s make 5 Cavalcade of Calamities triggers. So
Right.
your opponent takes 5. That makes 5 Spitfire triggers. So the Spitfire gets +15/+0, and then they die.
But you can't play Crash in this format, can you?
You can't
Because
play
it's
what?
rotating. Yeah, you can't. There's a 1 red mana sorcery that says creatures you control gain trample this turn, but it's from
Yeah, no, you
It's
can't.
from
Yeah, you can't
or
play.
no, it's from
Dominaria?
Amonkhet, isn't it? Crash
I thought it was still. Was it reprinted in M19 then? I think
Oh,
you're
it
right.
might
I
have
think it
been.
is in Amonkhet.
Yeah, no,
but I think
yeah, it was
it's in
reprinted in
M19.
M19. Yeah,
Because I know
that
it's
sounds
part of
right.
the first version of the Drake's deck.
There are, to be fair, this deck. There's a lot of great decks in this format. There's an Elementals deck that I've lost to a bunch. There's a fun mono black deck that just does like Duress, Burglar Rat.
Ooh, I like that.
Discard,
I saw-
and I just get very sad about the whole thing.
Maybe it was
It's
Jamie, but someone
it's like
posted
Duress,
a Guildgate deck too.
Burglar Rat, Fenlurker.
Nice.
As well,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I
Eight
faced the
rat,
Guildgate deck. Yeah, with Gatebreaker Ram and whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about that one is specifically is that I just sort of don't care. It's like, yeah,
Right.
it's like, okay, I take 5 and then I'm going to, and your guy's Vigilance, but I don't care if my 1/1s die because they're getting in for a bajillion damage just from the Cavalcades. The rare Chandra that makes 2 1/1s
yeah.
just poops out 2 1/1s, they get in. So yeah, it's a fun deck. Anyway, so this event exists to basically just sort of like pump your experience up. If you are really,
Like if you're on the bubble.
yeah, if you're really like, I really want to get all the way to 100. I'll be honest, the rewards in like the last 20 levels are like, I can live without them.
Right.
I'm trying to get to 90 because then you get 3 more mastery orbs, and which lets me get more more of the cosmetics, which I like.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to get them just before the set rotates. But anyway, the point is, it's useful if you haven't had enough time or if you just want to grind for it or whatever. I just like that it's like, oh, okay, I'll just play it and like, oh, I lost. Okay, get back in. Cool, I won that time. Play again. It's just sort of like, okay, cool. And if I win twice, then I get 200 experience. And so 10 of those and I get an entire level. Sure.
Yeah.
Because it says like how many days until rotation, so sort of how long you have to finish your mastery track if you want to. So I don't know. I like it as
that's nice.
Basically
Yeah.
a catch-up mechanic if you want to put the time in.
Quality of life mechanic. right?
Basically, yeah, I think it's fine. So
Speaking of life, we have to get on with ours, and so do you.
yeah. So thanks for joining us this week on Tap Tap Concede. Until next time, remember that everything we do is brought to you. I did it in the wrong order. Let me talk about Card Kingdom first, because that's what Paul's expecting.
Remember
me
that
to say.
everything that we do is brought to you by Card Kingdom.
Everything we
because
do
they rule the entire world.
is brought to you by you. This podcast specifically is also brought to you by Card Kingdom at cardkingdom.com/LRR. The /LRR does help us because it lets them know that we sent you. So please do that. Do that.
Cardkingdom.com. Do that.
Do that. And we're also brought to you still by you and your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loading-ready-run. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I've been Graham.
I've been Cameron.
I've been Nelson.
Paul has been there on tech, and Heather gets these online. And thank you again. Talk to you next time.